In a world where we often find ourselves negotiating our worth, the journey to self-discovery can feel daunting. Many of us carry the weight of past experiences, shaping our beliefs about what we deserve in relationships and life. This exploration delves into the archetype of the wounded inner girl, a concept rooted in Carl Jung's profound insights. This archetype reflects the deep-seated fears and insecurities that can lead us to settle for less than we truly deserve. By understanding this inner voice, we can begin to unravel the patterns that hold us back, empowering ourselves to reclaim our worth and embrace the fullness of our potential. If you stay until the end, the Yendi will shock you and transform your life. The first sign of the wounded inner girl archetype, as articulated by Carl Jung, often manifests as a pervasive sense of unworthiness. This feeling can lead individuals to accept less than they truly deserve in various aspects of life, including relationships, career opportunities, and personal aspirations. The emotional landscape of someone grappling with this archetype is fraught with self-doubt and a longing for validation that frequently goes unfulfilled. When we delve into the philosophical underpinnings of Jung's work, we find that the wounded inner girl represents not just a personal struggle, but a collective experience shared by many. This archetype embodies the pain of unmet needs and the scars of past traumas, often stemming from childhood experiences. The emotional impact is profound. Individuals may find themselves in toxic relationships, tolerating behaviors that undermine their self-esteem, or remaining in unfulfilling jobs due to a fear of inadequacy. Renowned psychologist Clarissa Pinkola Estes, in her book Women Who Run with the Wolves, emphasizes the importance of reclaiming one's voice and recognizing the strength inherent in vulnerability. This reclamation process is crucial for healing the wounded inner girl. It involves acknowledging past wounds while also understanding that they do not define one's worth. The journey is not merely about overcoming feelings of unworthiness. It is about embracing the wholeness of one's being, recognizing both the light and the shadows. In this context, the emotional toll can be staggering. The individual may oscillate between moments of hope and deep despair, often feeling trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage. The realization that one is accepting less than they deserve can be both liberating and terrifying. It requires a courageous confrontation with the self, an exploration of the narratives that have shaped one's identity and the courage to rewrite them. Ultimately, the path to healing the wounded inner girl is a deeply personal journey, one that calls for compassion, introspection, and a commitment to self-love. It is an invitation to step into one's power and to demand the respect and fulfillment that are inherently deserved. In the journey of self-discovery, one often encounters the tendency to settle for less than one truly deserves. This behavior is deeply rooted in the wounded inner girl archetype, which can manifest in various ways. One prevalent attitude is the habit of seeking validation from others, often at the expense of one's own self-worth. This quest for approval can lead individuals to compromise their values and desires, ultimately resulting in unfulfilling relationships and experiences. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of recognizing and integrating our shadow aspects, the parts of ourselves that we often suppress or deny. When we seek external validation, we may be unconsciously trying to heal our inner wounds, believing that acceptance from others will fill the void within. However, this approach can be counterproductive. Instead of nurturing our self-esteem, it can perpetuate feelings of inadequacy and dependency. For instance, consider a scenario where someone stays in a relationship that doesn't fulfill them, simply to avoid being alone or to gain approval from friends and family. This behavior reflects a deep-seated fear of rejection and a belief that one is not worthy of authentic love and respect. By prioritizing others' opinions over their own needs, they reinforce the narrative that their value is contingent on external factors. To break free from this cycle, it is essential to cultivate self-compassion and recognize that one's worth is inherent and not dependent on others. Engaging in practices such as journaling, self-reflection, and therapy can help individuals reconnect with their true selves and redefine their standards. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you accepted less than you deserved in order to gain someone else's approval? In the exploration of the wounded inner girl archetype, we encounter a profound understanding of how this archetype can lead individuals to accept less than they deserve. This phenomenon is intricately tied to the dynamics of narcissism, revealing hidden patterns in behavior that often go unnoticed. Carl Jung's insights into the psyche shed light on this complex interplay, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness and healing. The third item on our list delves into the notion of self-worth, which is frequently compromised by the wounded inner girl. This archetype embodies the pain of unmet needs and unresolved trauma, often causing individuals to settle for relationships that do not honor their true value. In the context of narcissistic relationships, this can manifest as a cycle of emotional manipulation and dependency. The narcissist, adept at exploiting vulnerabilities, may inadvertently reinforce the belief that love and validation are conditional. Renowned psychologist Brené Brown speaks to the importance of vulnerability and self-acceptance in her work. She argues that embracing our imperfections is crucial for cultivating genuine connections. This perspective aligns with Jung's idea of integrating the shadow self, acknowledging and healing the wounded aspects of our psyche. When individuals recognize their worth, they become less susceptible to the charm of narcissistic personalities, breaking free from the cycle of acceptance that diminishes their self-esteem. Consider the metaphor of a flower that blooms in a garden overshadowed by weeds. The flower, representing the individual, struggles to thrive amidst the chaos of narcissistic behavior. However, when nurtured and given the right environment, it can flourish, revealing its true beauty. This transformation requires acknowledging past wounds and actively choosing to cultivate self-love and respect. In conclusion, understanding the wounded inner girl archetype is essential for breaking the patterns that lead to accepting less than one deserves. By fostering self-awareness and embracing vulnerability, individuals can reclaim their power and step into healthier relationships. The journey toward healing is not only transformative, but also liberating, allowing one to bloom in their authenticity. In exploring the wounded inner girl archetype, we often uncover behaviors that stem from deep-seated wounds. One such behavior is the tendency to settle for less than what we truly deserve. This mindset can be traced back to childhood experiences, where validation and love were conditional upon our performance or appearance. As Carl Jung suggests, these early experiences shape our psyche, leading us to unconsciously accept relationships and situations that do not honor our worth. The fourth behavior we can identify is the habit of self-sabotage. This manifests when individuals, fearing the pain of rejection or disappointment, create scenarios that ensure they do not achieve their full potential. For example, a woman may decline a promotion at work, believing she is not worthy of the recognition, or a man may stay in an unfulfilling relationship, fearing the loneliness of being single. This self-imposed limitation is a protective mechanism, rooted in the belief that it is safer to remain in the familiar, even if it is less than ideal. Renowned psychologist Brené Brown emphasizes the importance of vulnerability in overcoming such behaviors. She argues that embracing our imperfections and acknowledging our worth is essential for personal growth. By confronting the fears that drive self-sabotage, we can begin to rewrite our narratives and cultivate a sense of empowerment. This journey requires courage, but it ultimately leads to a more authentic and fulfilling life. As we reflect on this behavior, let us remember that we are deserving of love, success, and happiness. Breaking free from self-sabotage is not just about changing our actions, it's about transforming our internal dialogue and embracing the belief that we are enough. In the journey of self-discovery, we often encounter the wounded inner girl archetype, a concept deeply explored by Carl Jung. This archetype embodies the parts of ourselves that have faced neglect, trauma, or unfulfilled potential. It is essential to recognize how this wounded aspect can lead us to accept less than we truly deserve in our relationships and life choices. The fifth item on this introspective list is the importance of setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not merely walls that keep others out. They are essential frameworks that define our self-worth and establish how we wish to be treated. When we fail to set boundaries, we inadvertently signal that our needs and desires are secondary to those of others. This often stems from a deep-seated belief that we are unworthy of respect or love, a belief rooted in the wounds of our inner girl. Jung's insights remind us that healing begins when we acknowledge these wounds and take proactive steps to protect ourselves. Setting boundaries can be a powerful act of self-love, allowing us to reclaim our agency and affirm our value. It involves communicating our limits clearly and standing firm against any attempts to undermine them. This process may feel uncomfortable at first, especially for those who have long been conditioned to please others at their own expense. However, as we practice establishing and maintaining boundaries, we begin to cultivate a sense of empowerment and self-respect. We learn that it is not selfish to prioritize our well-being. Rather, it is an essential part of nurturing our inner selves. By honoring our needs, we create a healthier dynamic in our relationships, attracting those who respect and appreciate us for who we truly are. Embracing this journey of setting boundaries is crucial in healing our wounded inner girl and ultimately stepping into a life that reflects our true worth. The sixth behavior associated with the wounded inner girl archetype is the tendency to settle for less than one deserves in relationships and personal aspirations. This phenomenon often stems from a deep-rooted fear of abandonment and inadequacy, leading individuals to accept situations that do not serve their highest good. Drawing from the wisdom of Carl Jung, we can explore how this archetype manifests in our lives, often unconsciously guiding our choices. Jung believed that our inner experiences shape our reality, and when the inner girl is wounded, it can distort our perception of self-worth. This distortion may lead us to believe that we are unworthy of love, success, or happiness, prompting us to stay in toxic relationships or pursue unfulfilling careers. The fear of being alone or unlovable can overshadow our innate desire for fulfillment, causing us to compromise our values and dreams. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This statement invites us to reflect on our motivations and the underlying reasons for our choices. Are we settling because we lack a clear vision of what we truly want? Or are we clinging to familiar discomforts rather than embracing the unknown potential for growth and joy? As we navigate the complexities of our emotions and desires, it is essential to confront the wounds of our past. Acknowledging and healing these wounds can empower us to break free from the cycle of settling. By cultivating self-love and understanding our worth, we can begin to make choices that align with our true selves, ultimately leading to more fulfilling relationships and a more authentic life. In this journey, remember that you are deserving of all the good life has to offer, and it is never too late to reclaim your power. In our exploration of the wounded inner girl archetype, we often overlook the significance of boundaries. This crucial aspect can transform our understanding of self-worth and relationships. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, a process of integrating different aspects of the self to achieve wholeness. When we neglect to establish boundaries, we inadvertently allow others to dictate our value, leading us to accept less than we truly deserve. Consider the analogy of a garden. A well-tended garden flourishes, but without clear boundaries, it can become overrun with weeds. Similarly, in our lives, if we fail to set limits, we may find ourselves overwhelmed by the demands and expectations of others. Establishing boundaries is not an act of selfishness, rather, it is a declaration of self-respect. It communicates to the world that we recognize our worth and will not settle for less. Jung also noted that our inner wounds often stem from unresolved conflicts and unmet needs. By asserting our boundaries, we begin to heal these wounds. For instance, if someone constantly interrupts us during conversations, it may reflect a lack of respect for our thoughts. By addressing this behavior, we not only reclaim our voice but also reinforce our self-esteem. In essence, setting boundaries is an empowering act that fosters healthy relationships and nurtures our inner selves. It allows us to cultivate a space where we can thrive, free from the constraints of external expectations. As we continue to navigate our journey of self-discovery, let us remember that our worth is not defined by others, but by how we choose to honor ourselves. In exploring the complexities of our inner selves, we often encounter the wounded aspects of our psyche that lead us to accept less than we truly deserve. One significant behavior that emerges from this archetype is the tendency to seek validation from external sources. This craving for approval can stem from deep-seated insecurities, often rooted in past experiences or societal expectations. When we rely heavily on others' opinions to shape our self-worth, we risk undermining our own value. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, the process of becoming who we truly are. This journey requires us to confront our wounds and acknowledge the parts of ourselves that seek external validation. By doing so, we can begin to cultivate an inner strength that is not contingent on others' perceptions. Instead of measuring our worth against the standards set by society or relationships, we can learn to embrace our uniqueness and intrinsic value. To break free from this cycle, it is essential to engage in self-reflection and self-compassion. Recognizing that our worth is inherent, regardless of external approval, allows us to reclaim our power. As we nurture our inner selves, we can develop a more profound sense of self-acceptance, which in turn fosters healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. Ultimately, the journey toward healing the wounded inner girl, or boy, invites us to redefine our relationship with ourselves. By prioritizing our own validation and embracing our authentic selves, we can move beyond the limitations imposed by our past. This transformative process not only enriches our lives, but also empowers us to demand the respect and love we truly deserve. In the journey of self-discovery and healing, we often encounter the subtle yet profound manifestations of our wounded inner girl. This archetype can lead us to accept less than we truly deserve, shaping our relationships and self-worth in ways that may not be immediately apparent. Among the behaviors that stem from this archetype, the 9th and 10th behaviors are intricately connected, revealing a deeper emotional and strategic interplay. The 9th behavior involves a tendency to seek validation from external sources, often leading to a cycle of dependency on others' approval. This quest for affirmation can mask our true desires and needs, making us compromise our values in pursuit of acceptance. As Carl Jung suggests, this external validation is a reflection of our inner conflicts, where we may unconsciously believe that our worth is determined by how others perceive us. Transitioning to the 10th behavior, we see how this dependency can morph into self-sabotage. When we continuously seek validation, we may find ourselves in situations that undermine our self-esteem, perpetuating a cycle of accepting less than we deserve. This self-sabotage often stems from a fear of rejection or abandonment, rooted in the wounds of our inner girl. The emotional connection between these two behaviors is profound. They feed off each other, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. Jung's teachings remind us that acknowledging these patterns is the first step toward healing. By recognizing how the need for validation and self-sabotage intertwine, we can begin to reclaim our power and redefine our self-worth. It is crucial to cultivate self-compassion and to understand that our value is inherent, not contingent on others' opinions. Only then can we start to embrace the fullness of who we are and what we truly deserve. As we reflect on these behaviors, let us remember that healing is a journey, and every step taken toward understanding our wounded inner girl is a step toward liberation. In the journey of self-discovery, we often encounter the wounded inner girl archetype, a concept deeply rooted in Carl Jung's exploration of the psyche. This archetype symbolizes the part of us that has faced rejection, abandonment, or trauma, leading us to unconsciously accept less than we deserve. It whispers to us in moments of self-doubt, convincing us that we are unworthy of love, respect, and fulfillment. Reflecting on this, we recognize that the wounds of our past can shape our present choices. We may find ourselves in relationships or situations that do not honor our true value, settling for scraps instead of the feast we deserve. Jung reminds us that acknowledging these wounds is the first step toward healing. It's crucial to confront the narratives that have been woven into our identities, often without our consent. As we embark on this healing journey, we must learn to nurture our inner girl, to validate her feelings, and to reclaim our worth. It's a process that requires courage and vulnerability, but it is essential for growth. Remember, as Brené Brown wisely states, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. Embracing our vulnerabilities allows us to break free from the chains of our past and step into a future that reflects our true selves. As we conclude this exploration, let us commit to honoring our worth. You are deserving of love, respect, and all the good that life has to offer. Embrace your inner strength, and do not shy away from demanding what you truly deserve. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video if it resonated with you, and subscribe for more insights on your journey of self-discovery. Together, let's rise above the wounds and step into our power. That's it. If you liked this video, share it with your friends and leave your like. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss more tips like this. Leave your comments saying what you thought of the video and what you would like to see in the next videos. Remembering that we have other videos in this style that you will like to watch, just enter our channel that I guarantee you will like. Until the next video.